These are 6 times The Simpsons was set in the future. We start with Lisa's wedding from season 6, the episode that really kicked off this tradition. It takes place in 2010, 15 years into the future at the time of airing. The setup is simple. Lisa visits a fortune teller at a Renaissance fair.
I've been waiting for you, Lisa.
Who shows her a vision of her first true love. What follows is one of the most emotionally grounded glimpses into Lisa's adult life the show has ever done. At 23, Lisa is attending university and meets Hugh Parkfield, a charming British student. They fall in love, get engaged, and everything seems perfect. Hugh is cultured, intelligent, and comes from money. He's exactly the kind of partner Lisa always imagined for herself.
Isn't it wonderful? Master Hugh has found a true love.
But when he meets her family, cracks start to appear. Homer and Bart embarrass her at every turn. Hugh tries to be polite, but it's clear he doesn't understand The Simpsons and doesn't want to. The breaking point comes when Lisa discovers Hugh wants them to move to England after the wedding and never see her family again. Maybe Marge occasionally when they have kids, but that's it.
Possibly your mother will come when the children are born.
Lisa realizes she can't marry someone who won't accept the people she loves, flaws and all. She calls off the wedding. The fortune teller reveals Hugh returned to England and Lisa never saw him again.
Hugh goes back to England and you never see him again.
What makes this episode work is how real it feels. Lisa has always been caught between her intellectual ambitions and her love for her chaotic family. This future forces her to choose, and she chooses family. It's bittersweet because we know she gave up something she wanted, but it also shows that Lisa's loyalty runs deeper than her desire to escape Springfield. The glimpse we get of the rest of the family is telling too. Marge is still a housewife. Homer still works at the plant, now with Milhouse as his supervisor. Bart is a twice-divorced demolition expert considering law school.
They're finally paying me for this.
Maggie is supposedly talkative at 16, though we never hear her speak. Everyone has. Aged, but not much, has fundamentally changed. That's the quiet tragedy of this future. Life goes on, but it doesn't necessarily get better. Next is Bart to the Future from season 11, which jumps all the way to 2030 and shows us a future where Lisa is president and Bart is a total failure. The episode starts with Bart getting kicked out of an Indian casino, and as punishment, the manager shows him a vision of what his life will become if he doesn't change his ways. 30 years later, Bart is 40, broke, and crashing with Ralph Wiggum. He dropped out of college and now fronts a band called the Tequila Mockingbirds that's going absolutely nowhere. Ralph is tired of covering rent, and Bart has no prospects. So naturally, he decides to mooch off his sister,
Moochie moochie.
who just happens to be President of the United States. Lisa is making history as the first straight female president, and she's dealing with a country in ruins. The previous administration invested heavily in programs for kids, but it backfired spectacularly.
Big mistake.
All that midnight basketball and government-funded breakfast turned the youth into sleep-deprived super criminals. And now there's a massive crime wave. On top of that, America is flat broke. They've sold off landmarks just to stay afloat. Bart shows up at the White House and immediately makes everything worse.
Ow! Watch the ponytail.
He flies Ralph in on Marine One, hits Lisa with a frisbee during a speech, and crashes her tax announcement to plug his band.
If you like refund adjustments and the music I play.
He's a burden, and he knows it. After being sent away to Camp David and visited by the ghost of Billy Carter, Bart finally realizes he needs to change. He uses his talent for dodging debt collectors to help Lisa negotiate with foreign creditors, and she rewards him by promising to legalize it, whatever it is.
Oh, consider it done.
The vision ends, and Bart completely misses the point. He's just excited about having a band in the future and dismisses Lisa's presidency as some boring government job. It's a depressingly accurate vision of Bart's potential. He's someone who could help if he tried, but he's too self-centered to care. What's interesting about this episode is the contrast between the siblings. Lisa works herself to the bone, trying to fix a broken country, while Bart floats through life, taking advantage of everyone around him. It's not subtle, but it doesn't need to be. This future is a warning, and Bart ignores it completely. Then we have future drama from season 16, which shows us Bart and Lisa just before high school graduation in 2013. This one is lighter than Bart to the future, but it still has some dark undercurrents. The episode starts with Bart and Lisa tumbling into Professor Frink's basement,
Where are we? You're gay for Mole Man.
where he shows them a vision of their lives 8 years into the future. Lisa is graduating 2 years early with a scholarship to Yale. Bart is in love with a girl named Genda and proposes to her after prom, but she turns him down flat. She tells him she doubts he'll ever be able to take care of her. It's brutal, and it hits Bart hard.
Okay, lovebirds, break it up.
Meanwhile, Homer and Marge have split up because Homer blew all their savings on an underwater house. Marge is now dating Krusty the Clown, which is deeply weird for everyone involved. Bart gets a job at the Quickie Mart and ends up saving Mr. Burns from a robbery.
Ew, not that. Ew. What soups do they have?
As a reward, Burns offers him a scholarship to Yale, the same one that was supposed to go to Lisa. Bart takes it, thinking it'll win Gender back. It does, but only because she's shallow and materialistic. Lisa is devastated. She's worked her entire life for that scholarship, and Bart stumbled into it by accident. While walking with Gender, Bart finds Professor Frink's astrology machine and uses it to peek even further into the future. What he sees is grim. Lisa is married to Milhouse in a loveless relationship where he's selling his bone marrow just to pay the bills.
I had to sell all my marrow to pay the light bill. I didn't have much marrow.
Bart realizes he can't let that happen and gives the scholarship back to Lisa. Gender dumps him again, telling him the only thing she can guarantee is that she won't be in his future. This episode is interesting because it shows Bart making a genuinely selfless choice. He sacrifices his own happiness to save Lisa from a miserable future. It's a rare moment of growth, and it feels earned. The episode also reinforces that Homer and Marge's relationship is resilient. Homer wins her back by letting Krusty beat him up, which is peak Homer logic, but it works. Moving forward, we get Holidays of Future Past from season 23, which is set during Christmas 30 years in the future. This one is surprisingly melancholic. The episode opens with Bart and Lisa complaining about family photos, and Marge insists they'll appreciate them someday.
You'll understand one day when you have kids of your own.
Then we jump to a future where those photos are all that's left of simpler times. Bart has 2 kids with his ex-wife Gender, but they're separated and he barely sees them. Lisa is married to Milhouse, but their relationship is strained. She's busy with charity work and he feels neglected. Maggie is a rock star and pregnant, though the identity of the father is never revealed.
Now, can you tell me who the father is?
We will not.
The episode is full of small, sad details. Bart misses his kids desperately and uses technology to see them, only to discover his ex-wife has moved on with someone new.
Your mother remarried?
When the family gathers for Christmas, there's tension beneath the surface, but they come together anyway. Bart admits he's always looked up to Lisa and wished he'd turned out more like her. It's a rare moment of vulnerability that brings them closer. The emotional core of this episode is the realization that the future isn't necessarily better. Everyone is older, but they're not happier. Relationships are complicated, and people still make the same mistakes. The only constant is the family itself. They come together for Christmas, take their photo, and carry on. It's not triumphant, but it's real. Then there's Days of Future from season 25, which is a direct sequel to Holidays of Future Past. This one gets weird. It opens with Marge finding Homer passed out on the kitchen table after eating too much. She tells him to take his health seriously, and Homer, being Homer, immediately has a heart attack.
All that's left are clever last words.
And dies. But death isn't permanent anymore. Professor Frink has cloned Homer, and when that clone dies, he clones him again and again. Homer goes through clone after clone, dying in increasingly ridiculous ways until Frink runs out. As a backup, he uploaded Homer's memories to a flash drive and plugs him into a TV screen. Now Homer is just a digital face, and he keeps freezing like bad software. Marge finally has enough and gives the flash drive to Bart, telling him Homer is his problem now. Bart takes digital Homer to Springfield Elementary and tries to get advice, but the screen keeps freezing. Meanwhile, Lisa is feeding zombies at a soup kitchen, and when Milhouse shows up worried about her, a zombie bites him. Lisa realizes she's more attracted to him as a zombie. He's braver, and she likes that version of him better. Bart undergoes shock therapy to forget gender and starts dating other women, but he's not over her. When his kids tell him Gender's boyfriend left,
Mom's sad. Jerry moved out.
they reconnect and try again. But once again, they fall into the same patterns. Bart goes to Moe's for a drink and finds Lisa already there, drowning her sorrows over whether to keep Milhouse as a zombie. Marge shows up and tells them that when you make a decision with your heart, you stick with it, even if it means electrocuting yourself to join your husband on a TV screen. Milhouse gets cured of his zombie transformation, and Lisa is disappointed. Bart and Gender break up for good. And then it's revealed that Bart's entire experience was a neural implant designed to help him move on. It was all fake. Back in reality, Homer gets a new robot body, and everyone moves forward. This episode is darker than it seems. The future here is one where death is inconvenient rather than final, where marriages are held together by obligation, and where people use technology to avoid dealing with their problems. It's cynical, and it doesn't offer easy answers. Finally, we have Barthood from season 27, which isn't entirely set in the future, but uses flash forwards to show key moments in Bart's life from childhood to adulthood. It's structured like Boyhood, the Richard Linklater film, and it's one of the more emotionally honest episodes the show has done. We see Bart at 6 years old, asking Homer questions and craving his attention. Homer is distant, distracted, always prioritizing something else.
Never should have had a firstborn. Should have skipped right to the second.
Bart acts out because he feels neglected, and a psychologist explains that he just wants his father to notice him. Homer tries to bond by taking Bart camping, but he just watches TV at an inn instead. As Bart gets older, the pattern continues. He's always in Lisa's shadow. She wins Student of the Month 48 times in a row. She gets praised for her art, while Bart gets yelled at. On his 12th birthday, Lisa announces another achievement, stealing his moment. Bart changes the cake to say her name and storms off.
Now it's all about you. Happy?
At 15, Bart becomes skilled at BMX tricks, but Homer leaves him home alone instead of spending time with him. Later, Homer admits he was just like Bart when he was young, but when Bart was born, he had to grow up. They hug, and for a moment, it feels like things might change, but Homer immediately admits he's not planning to do anything differently. Bart enters a BMX competition and crashes during a stunt. Lisa saves his life, and everyone praises her as a hero. Bart resents her even more. At a party, Lisa kisses Milhouse on the cheek to cheer him up, and he calls her the best. Think about the party.
You're the most amazing thing at this party.
Bart snaps, lashing out at her. Lisa finally confronts him, tired of being blamed for his problems. She tells him he's talented. He just doesn't use his gifts. Years later, Bart opens a bike shop and gallery. Lisa visits with her boyfriend Nelson, and Bart shows them a mural of his life. Lisa notices she's not in it, but then Bart lowers a garage door to reveal another mural dedicated entirely to her. He calls her one of his favorite sisters. It's a small moment, but it shows Bart finally letting go of his resentment and appreciating what Lisa means to him. Barthood works because it doesn't try to be funny. It's sad and honest, and shows that Bart's issues stem from feeling invisible in his own family. Homer was never there when it mattered, and Lisa always outshone him. But in the end, Bart finds something he's good at, and he makes peace with his sister. It's not a happy ending, but it's hopeful. So why does The Simpsons keep returning to the future? Maybe it's because the show has been on so long that the future feels inevitable. These characters have been frozen in time for decades, but we know time should be moving forward. The future episodes let the show explore what would happen if it did. What's striking is how consistent the outcomes are. Homer never escapes the power plant. Marge never gets the recognition she deserves. Bart struggles with mediocrity and self-worth. Lisa achieves success, but sacrifices happiness. Maggie remains a mystery. These futures aren't fantasies. They're extensions of who these characters already are. The show doesn't offer easy redemption. The future is messy, complicated, and often sad. But it's also full of small moments of connection. Bart giving Lisa the scholarship. Homer's memories preserved on a flash drive. Lisa choosing her family over Hugh. These futures remind us that even when life doesn't turn out the way we hoped, the relationships we have still matter. The Simpsons has been exploring the future for over 2 decades now, and it's never been particularly optimistic. But maybe that's the point. The future isn't something to look forward to. It's just more of the same, with different problems and the same flawed people trying their best. And somehow, that feels more honest than any happy ending ever could.